with that?
I just turned 19. So, yeah, I became like the youngest CEO up in Canary Wharf.
Wow.
Again, making...
And female.
Yeah.
And black. It's just like, woo!
I just feel, and again, who you're surrounded by up there is like people from Citibank, people from Barclays, HSBC, JP Morgan, KPMG, you know, kind of, it was just like, wow, you know. But then it gets to the ego. Oh, okay, well, I'm rubbing shoulders with this person, and I'm rubbing shoulders with that person, and I'm eating like gaucho steak and with champagne, and, you know, like I'm getting chauffeur driven, and I'm staying in big hotels, all of that, right? And that's where, again, I think I put myself in a vulnerable place to get taken advantage of in business.
Ego is the enemy.
And for me personally, my biggest fear, and remember I said I'm uncomfortable with fear, right? So my biggest fear is being betrayed. Like, that is one thing. Like I said at the beginning, I'm all for the loyalty. So the moment I'm loyal to you, but you betray me, we have a major issue. But I have a major issue with myself because I've allowed you to do that. So my issue isn't with you.
It's like an internal. How did I even allow that?
Yeah.
How did I not see that?
Yes. Yeah. And I feel, because I've seen so many of like friends and family get betrayed, it's like, well, no, I could never put myself in that position. When I kind of smell anything like that, I'm running. I'll drop people. There's no explanation.
Right.
And because you have to protect your peace. So for me, it's, and I read a book where it's, I'd rather die than be betrayed. And I felt, you know, when it's like, oh, that hit me. Because I'm exactly the same. And that's what happened. So I feel like the team that I let them in on too much things about the way I operate the business, about kind of the nitty gritties of it, you know, me living my best life, what I was doing back in 1-2 trade, where I was absorbing from everyone else, they were doing that to me. And that's what for me got me, because I was like, you've been in this position, but now the tables have turned because you're now the CEO. I should have been more vigilant. Hold on, I was absorbing from my previous. So, like, you can't be in a vulnerable position. And at that point, they took advantage when I wasn't around, and they basically just stripped the business. I was virtually on the fence of losing everything. And then one of my business partners came to me and said, look, like, we've got something that if we just keep building, it can bring back what we've lost. And kind of looking back now, I've learned something: don't ever chase losses. So that for me was another red flag, you know. And it was, I got into a bit of a loss, about 60k at the time, and it was, but I don't lose my stride. So for me at the time, it was like, okay, we'll make it back. It's cool, you know. So it hit me for about a day or two, and then it was like, okay, like, we move. So let's go. What we doing? And I think that at that point, it was like, okay, Bella really needs help here. Even though I tried to not show it. It obviously showed very, very clearly. You know, and I'm a person of energy, my aura, all of that. So the desperation was probably there, and that's when obviously another person within the business that I let in on my operation, that I let in on basically everything, took advantage of that. Kind of said they had a product that wasn't actually a product, an investment vehicle as such. So I decided to give it a go with just some money I had lying around, and it was working very, very well for a few months. People around me obviously kind of saw the investment vehicle, and they were like, look, like, we want in. But I feel like that there is where the next problem lies, because what you will risk something on, you won't risk someone else's fortune or something on, you know. The risk that I'm willing to take
isn't what everyone can take.
right.
And that's
And
the biggest problem that I
Yeah.
see with this whole trading world.
Yeah.
Is you don't know what capital
And you don't know what's
someone's
coming
got.
around the corner.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm putting in, so I started with 5k, that was 5k I was willing to lose. When people started giving me kind of 10, 20k, they weren't seeing it as, I'm going to lose it, you know. So, but then, kind of long story cut short, it came to when all the money came together and was given to this one particular individual. He then kind of was doing contracts with them, and the contracts were basically fraud, right? He was guaranteeing returns, and then it just all went kind of left from there, so left. And he done a runner with all of that money that everyone gave, including myself. So then, obviously, that was the point where it was like, okay. And that was the wall that I hit, you know. And leading up to that wall, there were so many signs that wall was coming. But I didn't want to believe it because of the money. Because